What is going on, my people? Yesterday was motherfucker. So, you know what I do every time I podcast? I go here, I talk shit, and I gotta listen up, bro. I do. I'm gonna get it right. Key, I'm gonna get it right. Now, my good people, welcome back. This is episode 13. Don't Kill the Messenger podcast is always coming to you from the living room. It's your boy, Marc. My people, what it do, man? Hope everyone's having, the week has just started. So, yeah, you don't know how your damn week is going to go. So, I hope you had a good weekend. I really do. I know your boy went on vacation. Is like, I disappeared and it was never coming back. I thought about not coming back. I really did. I was like, why the hell am I doing this podcast? But I love it so much, baby. I'm like Pookie and New Jack. The shit just keeps calling me. I keep smoking it. It's just like I'm addicted. So what it do? Listen, real quick before we get into the show. Episode number 11 did over 100 views. Actually, last count I think it was 102, 103. So that means that was literally our first full standalone 100 viewed episode. So we broke past the two the 2-digit mark and we got into the 3 digits. Sounds like a small thing, but for me, man, I'll take any milestone, whether it's big or small. So I want to say, guys, thank you for continuing to support me. The numbers are only going to go up. And also episode 12, which I broke into like 2 pieces and stuff. I was trying to be fancy and see if I could drive y'all to like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That shit ain't work. So I don't know if we breaking down episodes anymore. But anyway, that episode 1 and 2 did a combined like 119. So man, I like the way we're going, man. I like the trajectory of the show. Like we're moving up. So guys, as always, thank you for the support. Before we get into the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, the notification bell. As you can see, I let Tupac out of jail, baby. I had to let him out. I had to. Last show I had Tupac, he was in the box. He really was. You know what I mean? He was like, why you do that to me, homie? I said, I don't know, Pac. I don't know. So we had a serious talk. After that talk, I said, come back from vacation. And the show after, in this first show I do, I'm letting Pac out of jail. Pac's out on bail. He's free. He's out on these streets. And speaking of Tupac, if you guys haven't watched the new documentary on Hulu called Dear Mama, if you're a hip-hop head like myself, man, I suggest you guys go check that out. That documentary is dope. I believe they drop an episode like every Saturday, and I think they're like 4 episodes into the show. I'm not sure how many episodes are going to be in total, but I think they're on episode 4 right now. And it shows the life of Pac, which I pretty much know. Like, there's nothing I don't know about Pac. Honestly, I mean, in college, I was doing papers on Tupac. But it sheds a light on his mother, Afeni, who was a Black Panther. So if you're into things like that, and I know I am, I love the old 60s. I love reading anything that has to do with the Black Panthers. I'm going to read on it. So make sure you go check out Dear Mama on Hulu. And speaking of Dear Mama, to all the mamas out there, happy Mother's Day. Yesterday was Mother's Day, May 14th. And listen, guys, there's no family, there's no children, there's no you, there's no me without the glorious and beautiful miracle of childbirth. And that all starts with the woman. So to all the ladies who have done, which I don't care how many babies have been born since the beginning of time, it's a damn miracle. For all the ladies who have partaken in that, happy Mother's Day. I hope yesterday you was appreciated. I hope yesterday that you was shown love. And I hope that everyone got a chance to hang out with their mom if they're still around. Now, yesterday, Mother's Day, was a really special one for me because Mom is getting up in age. She's 68. And she loves the Yankees. She and that's why I was like, I wore this yesterday, but I was like, I'm gonna wear it for the show. This is kind of like an ode to Mama. So we went to the Yankee game. Now the Yankees lost. I ain't gonna lie, but it was a very good game actually. Very game all the way to the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. It was an 8-7 game. I mean, what more drama do you want? Aaron Judge is at the plate, and he can literally tie the game with one swing. And that was a damn good swing. And I'll try to put a video that I taped at the game. Yeah, we had the nosebleeds, but you know what, me and Mama, yo, listen, man, we two Bronx kids. We love them nosebleeds. You feel me? Aaron Judge almost tied up the game, man, and it was almost there, man, but it went right to that warning track. So we took the L, but the day was a spectacular day. It was really beautiful. It was just me and Mom hanging out at the stadium. My two brothers couldn't make it because one was at work and one was kind of under the weather. So, you know, it was just me and Mama Love, man, and I got real sentimental because, honestly, I know there are people right now who have lost their mothers over the last year or so, and it seems to be a thing. I remember watching a Dion Cole comedy special, and he was like something about the 50 Club. Like when you're almost into your 50s, that's when it seems like, you know, things kind of go left health-wise with your moms, and he had recently lost his mom. So my cousin Tish had lost her mom, my auntie Carol, and my cousin Tut. They lost their mom last year, like almost at the end of last year. Her husband also lost his mom. My friend G's best friend lost his mom. My brother, my little brother, my little bro, Jared, lost his mom. So I know, you know, this Mother's Day was heavy on their hearts, and, you know, it was heavy on mine as I was celebrating my mom, but also thinking about these people. So I just want to send love and light to you guys, man, who, you know, them and whoever watches this podcast, you know, that has lost their mom, whether it's recently or whether it was a long time ago. Listen, man, if you guys are out here and you're kicking ass and you're living a life of production and positivity, your mom did one hell of a job with you guys. So I just want to kind of give you a shout out. So after the game, me and Mom headed to the old neighborhood, and we met up with her best friend, who I affectionately call Mama Number 2. And it was just a good time, man. We went to go see my brother who was under the weather, went upstairs, checked him out, took some flicks with my boy Abby. Shout out to you, Ab. Start that podcast, man, because you'll be good at it, bro. And we hung out for like maybe 45 minutes, man. It was good seeing just everyone that I grew up with, man. And then it hit me. Like I always knew, but as you get older, you just kind of, you know, take things in a little different when you was younger. Yo, I grew up around a lot of Spanish people, bro. Like a lot of Spanish people. Yo, bro, every person I saw yesterday was Puerto Rican, bro. Like straight up. I'm like, damn, man, I really grew up around a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. And if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing, man. I wouldn't. You know, I look back at my childhood and it wasn't a bad childhood. It really wasn't. No, we wasn't rich. No, we didn't go on vacation every twice a year like my spoiled ass kids do. But it taught me something. That neighborhood gave me principles that I will carry on to this day, that I will like leave a legacy and teach to my children. So I'm always gonna have, even though I don't get there as much, because, you know, when you grow, you kind of grow. But my old neighborhood will always be in my heart. So shout out to West Farms and Freeman Street and everybody I seen from my neighborhood in my era. You know what I mean? I love all of y'all, man. So last time I was on this podcast, I talked wow shit. I talked major shit about the New York Knicks. I told you guys the New York Knicks was going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I stuck my chest out. I made a Super Bowl prediction. I told you that no one, especially an 8th seed team who barely just got into the playoffs, was beating the New York Knicks. Listen, yo, bro, there's no 8th seed telling me that the New York Knicks are not going to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? No 8th seed New York Knicks. Listen, if you're going to follow me in this podcast journey, I advise you, when it comes to sports, don't listen to me. Because clearly I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Bro, the Knicks took a super L. I mean, it was horrible, man. So we lost to the Miami Heat, 4-2. I don't even know where to start. Mind you, when these Knicks games were going on, I was going to work the next day like a pure crack baby, bro. I was a dope fiend on that bus, man. And we'll speak about bus drivers, a little poor bus drivers. We're going to get to us bus drivers later. But anyway, so I was nodding off, man, because these games are late, baby. I got to wake up at 4. I'm going to bed at 10:30. Half the time I'm going to bed pissed off because my team is losing. I want to throw a shoe at Julius Randle. He has to go. So it was just like, damn, man. But it was good to have the Knicks in the playoff because I'm not going to lie. To me, and it's just the biased New Yorker in me, The playoffs are better when the Knicks are in it. It just is what it is. And the fact that if I told you at the beginning of the year the New York Knicks was going to the second round of the playoffs, you'd have laughed at me. Shit, if you told me that, I would have laughed at you. But we made it, and hopefully we can get better. Now listen, our point guard, Jalen Brunson, is a superstar. He's magnificent. He carried us to, he willed us. He willed us in every game. He willed us into 2 victories that possibly could have got away because, honestly, he didn't have a lot of help. Now, speaking of help, everyone knows that our so-called all-star is Julius Randle. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I told you don't listen to me when it comes to sports just literally a minute ago, but listen to me and listen to me good. Julius Randle gotta go. There's no way about it. Julius Randle is the type of guy who would take a corner 3 with 3 defenders running at him. I've never seen anything like it. There is 24 seconds on the shot clock. You'll give the ball to Julius Randle. He's dribbling that ball for like 16 seconds. And then once he finally decides to kick the ball out, now other people got to figure out what to do. I think he has a little animosity towards Jalen Brunson, which I just told you carried us and was just performed phenomenal. All the sports news shows was just on his bolitos. It just is what it is, right? And I know Randle sees that because he was the guy prior to Julius Randle coming to the Knicks. I don't think he's that guy no more. Now, Stephen A., love him or hate him, he said, he's done with Julius Randle.
Thank Jalen Brunson for the great season that he gave the city of New York and the Knicks franchise, 14-22 shooting, 41 points. Absolutely sensational performance from him. R.J. Barrett is going to be a long off season. You are absolutely pathetic. 1 of 10 from the field. In 32 minutes, all you could score was 1 basket. You got to really look yourself in the mirror and work on your game, young man. Julius Randle, I am done with this man. I'm calling for the New York Knicks to trade him. You're not going to win with him. His body language, the second his shot is not falling, he's defeated, and it has contagious effect. It's like a virus that hits everybody, no pun intended, considering the times we live in. Julius Randle is not the answer. Trade him. He needs to go because every postseason, this is what he does. And that's the way that it is.
Saying for years, especially on my Instagram, I hate Julius Randle's game. I just don't like it. To me, he's the worst version of Carmelo Anthony. ISO ball, but he's not Carmelo Anthony. I could live with Melo doing ISO, even though we know we booed him near the end too, like, yo, Melo, what you doing? But I'm just saying, man, Julius Randle got to go. RJ Barrett has to step up. But if you really think about it, was anyone expecting the New York Knicks to make it to the second round of the playoffs? Probably not. But we got there, so salute to the New York Knicks, baby. But right now, it's all about baseball. My Yankees, we in 4th place. We got to step up, baby. We got to step up. All right, now, keeping it NBA. Bro, Ja Morant got suspended again, bro. Yo, bro, I don't know. What episode was this? 3 or 4 when we were just speaking about Ja Morant and maybe his dad got to step up and be a positive influence of his life. And then that was literally 2 months ago when, remember, Ja was supposed to be out of his mind and he was going somewhere. He was going away for help for his issues. He literally went away for like 2 days and came back and all was forgiven. Guys, Ja Morant is suspended indefinitely for the second time. Why? For the same shit. Ja Morant got caught on IG Live again, brandishing a gun. Guys, sometimes in life you just have to hold yourself accountable for the dumb shit you do. Even if you're young or if you're old, whatever age you are at in life, you have to hold yourself accountable for the dumb shit that you do. Now, Ja was caught in the car singing rap lyrics again. Listen, rap has been talking about gangster shit since the beginning of time. So I'm not even going to be hypocritical because I'm not going to lie to you. On my way home from work today, your boy was playing NWA. So like straight up, you know what I mean? So my old head asked, I totally understand it. It's just the culture of rap. Love it or hate it, it just is what it is, right? But here's the difference between my time and Ja's time. Bro, we didn't have fancy smartphones. We didn't have IG. We didn't have social media. We don't have none of this shit. So I'm not saying my generation wouldn't have done dumb things like this if we had the technology available to us. But Ja Morant got caught for the second time brandishing a gun on his Instagram live page. Now, mind you, his boy did him. I don't know who that kid was sitting next to him, but he did him dirty. Yo, bro, you know your man. You know your man. is probably packing. Like, like, come on, I know you know, right? And honestly, I think Ja legally owns these firearms. I really do. But as a firearm owner, bro, it makes me cringe to see people mishandling firearms and doing all that gangster sideways gun shit and gang signs with it, because it's gonna make the community look bad. But whatever. So Ja gets caught. His man is sitting next to him, and he flips the phone over towards Ja direction, and Ja was brandishing the gun on some gangster shit, and his man seen it and flipped the phone back real quick. Yo, bro, this is 2023, baby. This is the internet, bro. If it's a nanosecond, they got you, bro. All it takes is one screenshot, my guy. And trust me, everybody wants they gunning for you, bro. So this happens. It gets all over the internet to make its way on the news. The NBA, Adam Silver's probably like, okay, young man, you literally just told me this probably wouldn't happen again 2 months ago. I mean, even if you're going to do it, don't put it on Instagram Live, bro. Just be gangster, like in the privacy of the car with your homies. Don't put everything out for Front Street. So Ja is suspended again indefinitely. Now, last time when he was suspended, I questioned what kind of influence does his father, T. Morant, have on his life. Sometimes you can't always blame the dad, bro. I know you're a young man. You are. But you're a 24-year-old man who's on the verge of signing or did sign $200+ million contract. When are you going to know the responsibilities you have? When are you going to understand that you have young fans that are looking up to you, that you can have a positive influence on your peer group? You know what I mean? Instead of out here being something that you're clearly not. I heard that John Morant went to some of the best. Well, of course, he made it to the NBA, so I can imagine that he went to some of the best schools. So I understand if you go to the best schools and then you finally make it to the NBA, what are you trying to do now? You trying to make it to the hood? Like, what do you want to do? You want to be in the NBA, or you want to be on O Block? You know what I mean? Well, like, who are you trying to emulate? Are you trying to be like King James? Or you trying to be like King Von? You know what I mean? So you got to have to take some accountability for yourself and for the actions that you do. So, and that's the reason why I had a podcast today, because so much stuff is happening in the news. Like, I can't even wait. So that damn fool, John Morant, is suspended again. Who knows how long? Who knows what's going to happen? Here's an interesting thing, and then I'll move on to the next topic. Kyrie Irving lost a Nike deal for posting a link of a book about Hebrews on Amazon. Now, mind you, I can get into the whole spiel that, yo, listen, I understand people were upset about that, but at the end of the day, you could find the book easily on Amazon. Nobody was calling for Jeff Bezos' head, right? But that's neither here nor there. So Kyrie got in trouble for that. He lost shoe deals, so on and so forth. Yo, you telling me Nike's not going to cut ties with John Morant? Y'all, like, Nike, y'all support this? Y'all support that gangster lifestyle that he's promoting to young kids, especially African American kids that look up to this shit? I'm just saying, man. You gotta sometimes come on, man. Put your money where your mouth is, sometime, man. So, what are we gonna do, man? Now, going from a young man to a very old man, which means this is another episode of exactly. So, Robert De Niro, Bobby D. Who doesn't like Bobby D, right? Literally probably what? Top 10, top 15 actors of our lifetime. Bobby D, when it comes to the acting game, has a resume that it can go against anybody. He's Robert effing De Niro, right? Taxi Driver. The Godfather. Even the older movies, which are low-key, some of them is funny, some of them isn't, you know? But early Robert De Niro is a bona fide top 10, top 15 actor. Right? Robert De Niro is 79 years old, bro. 79 years old. You figure this man would probably be wanting just to chill in the sunset. You know what I mean? Just take it easy. You know, we just lost Harry Belafonte, right? He was in his 80s, so we don't know how long Bobby D got to go. Nah. Bobby D is like, forget all that, bro. I'm popping a couple of blue chews. I'm taking some JUJU juice. Fellas, by the way, JUJU juice. Listen, we're going to go back into Bobby D. Hold on. Brothers, JUJU juice. You will thank me later. Description below. Literally. Below. Deadass. Juju juice. So anyway, Bobby De Niro just had a baby at the ripe age of 79 years old. Bobby D and his girlfriend Tiffany Chin just brought into the world a baby girl, and they named her Gia Virginia Chin De Niro. Now that makes 7 kids for good old Bobby D. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If you knock someone up, and by the way, we just celebrated Mother's Day at the top of the show, this is the woman you would want to have a kid with. What's so special about Tiffany Chin? Yo, Tiffany Chin is the daughter of a kung fu master named William C.C. Chin, and she ain't a slouch herself. She was introduced into the magazine Inside Kung Fu Hall of Fame. So Tiffany would kick your ass. So she's a karate mama. She's out here kicking ass. So Bobby D decided to procreate with Tiffany Chin. But here's the thing why I say, yo, Bobby, you might be too old for this shit, player. Yo, Bobby, when that baby's 20, you going to be around? Bobby, you might round you off to 80. So you tell me you're going to be alive to 100? You know what I mean? I mean, damn, Bobby D. But hold on a sec. Excuse me. Isn't me, by the way, guys, before we finish with Bobby D, isn't me on allergy season's like the worst this year? Like, I don't understand, man. Yo, this allergy season's been out of control this year. I mean, it's keeping me up at night. I'm sniffling, sneezing, coughing. It's just been a problem, but let's get back into the show. Okay, so Robert De Niro is out here making babies at 79. So my question is he too old for this shit? You know what I mean? Because that baby's not going to have a daddy. He's not going to be alive when she's at 20 years old, right? Shit, even 10. When she's 10, well, Bobby D is going to be 90? Damn, allergies, baby. So I think Bobby D is a little too old out here to be having babies with kung fu chicks, but she's kicking ass. Apparently his sperm is kicking ass. So I guess congratulations, Bobby D, on your 7th baby. But player, you too old for that shit. Yo, straight up. Now listen, I mentioned something about bus drivers earlier in the show, right? So, I'm like a week and a half late on this story because, I was on a cruise boat going to the Bahamas, just drinking coffee in the morning and what did I do on the cruise? Yeah, I drank coffee, I ate dinner. I just got fat, pretty much. I got fat on the goddamn cruise. So I'm a little late with my 2 cents on this particular story. So Ebony K. Williams, and I'll put a picture up. And by the way, Ebony K. Williams is a very accomplished, beautiful sister, right? And I used to watch her on this show called Everyday Struggle with Joe Button. No, did I used to watch on Everyday Struggle with Joe Button? No, it was another show. You know how I do. I'll put in the editor's notes. I'll get it right. So anyway, she made the rounds while I was going on vacation because she was doing an interview with another sister, and then she said, and the sister asked her, would you date a bus driver? And Ebony K. Williams unequivocally said, no, I would not. I would date him if he owned the bus company. So as you know, everything is touchy-feely, and people got on the internet, and some people agreed with her, and some people didn't. So she got on the Breakfast Club, and like 2 days later, and tried to defend herself and what she meant. And then DJ Envy, I ain't gonna lie, yo, I love Envy, I really do. DJ Envy stepped up for all the city workers, baby, all the brothers in fire department, police department, and he went full beige rage on her.
What I'm upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy. Envy, that's a projection. Because I'll
let you speak. Let me talk.
Go ahead, Envy. Yeah.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Well, let's address it. And let's not skip a beat. Mm-hmm. So I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for, because we never had the conversation.
I don't know.
But you just
I'm telling you what
it.
people are saying on comments, what I've read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm speaking for the average person out there, because I feel for them, because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club. That's right. They keep me booking shows.
Nobody is saying, first of all, this is not about you booking shows.
I'm just telling you how I feel. So when you shit on the people that
ride
with me,
Envy, you're dead ass wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't think it was shitting on them?
I know it. First of all, I know it wasn't. I think what you're saying right now is irresponsible. I think what you're saying is irresponsible.
Listen, guys, you know I work for the MTA if you've been following my podcast journey, so you know that I live in the city of New York. Now, I don't know how it is in other states, but in New York City, bus drivers make a pretty good living. Bus drivers can make up to 6 figures a year at our job. And when I first got to my job, I noticed that there was a lot of nice cars in that parking lot. And then as I got further into my MTA career, I noticed that a lot of bus drivers was leaving the Bronx and driving maybe 2 hours up to their big ass homes upstate Connecticut, so on and so forth. So I say that to say that the bus drivers seem to be doing pretty well. My ass was literally just coming off the block not too long ago, and I wanted to emulate them and be like them. So when I met my wife was in banking, and she does what she does in banking. And she took a chance on me. Now, if you put us on paper together, it looked like she shouldn't even deal with me. My wife made X amount of dollars, which it doesn't matter. Her credit score was very good. She already had, so on and so forth things. I literally came in with nothing. You know what I mean? So, mind you, when I met her, I wasn't even working for the MTA. I was working even lower level than that. I was working at Accessoride, which is a smaller bus company out here that transport disabled peoples back and forth to dialysis, hospital appointments, clinics, whatever, right? So, my thing is, being that she said she would never, mind you, Ebony K. Williams is a lawyer. She said that she would never date a bus driver. Now, I'm going to throw this out there, sisters. Don't get too mad at me. We just having dialogue. You know what I do on this show? I talk my shit. Do you think that's why it seems a lot of professional women, especially sisters, are single because of that thought process? That a man, what a man does for a living defines him as a man? Because that bus driver could be make a hell of a husband. That bus driver can make a hell of a father. That bus driver can hold you down and make love to you in ways you don't know if you don't give him a chance. But being that he does something you might feel that is beneath you, do you think that's why a lot of professional sisters have a hard time out here finding men? Or is it that they feel like a lot of black men don't have their stuff together? A lot of these sisters tend to date, other races. Like we said, Ebony K. Williams' fiance, was a white dude. Now, it doesn't matter. That's your preference. Rock out. But I was just wondering. I was just asking myself, these sisters always claim pro-black, and they always claim they're for the cause. But then the stuff that you say that you're champion, you're also kind of, looking down with through your little glasses, you kind of thumbing your nose at it. So please, guys, I'm asking, please, let's have dialogue about this. Do you think this is one of the reasons why particularly professional sisters have a hard time finding men, because they set the bar high? And maybe they should set the bar high. Hey, listen, if you're a woman and you're coming in and you have all your stuff together, you don't want to get with no loser who's going to bring your value down. I understand that. But to look down at a person who may be a bus driver, may be a janitor, a blue collar man, so to speak, which, I feel like I am, you might be missing out on something if you don't give them a chance because you want a lawyer. Listen, man, I know a lot of people that used to be accountants and so on and so forth and went to college and got this, and their asses is driving that bus because you can make 6 figures and have a pension at the end of 20 plus years. I mean, who doesn't want to sign on for that? So my sisters, I would really, 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 really love to hear your opinion like that. Do you think Ebony Williams is the epitome of the bougie professional black woman by saying that she would never date a bus driver, and are the sisters low-key putting the brothers who have these sort of jobs down? I would love to know your opinion. I really would. All right, now, we're about to get dark on this show. You know, I just told you I let Tupac out of jail. Mother's Day was really good. My goddamn Knicks lost. Robert D's out here making babies at 79. You know, show's been good so far. It's been lighthearted. Now we're about to get dark. Here's why. Okay, this week, a lot of my friends have kids graduating from college. My cousin recently, and let me tell you something, my cousin, bonus babies, and I'm going to curse, they're fucking amazing. They both graduated. One graduated with an engineer degree. One just graduated, is on her way to law school. This is the example that I wish more black kids can be exposed to. You see someone of your same peer group? Look what they're doing. What makes them any different from you? You can do that as well. So shout out to my cousin and her husband. Those kids are going to kick ass in life. I have no doubt about it. So there's a lot of kids graduating from college this week, except for one person. There's one person that was supposed to graduate this week, but she's not graduating. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this young lady, and I'll put a picture up. And this story has been on my mind all week. It is the reason why I decided to record this show today and not wait until Friday. Okay, so, Mark, what are you talking about? Okay, AREANAH Preston was killed last week in front of her home as she returned home from work. Now, where did this take place at? This took place in Chicago. I don't have to go into detail. You guys all know that Chicago is a goddamn war zone. So we always know there's always some sort of senseless murder going on in the city of Chicago, right? We're not going to get into politics and none of that. You know that. Let's move on. Okay. Now, what did this young lady do for a living? This young lady, Miss Preston, was a cop. You know what I mean? She was with the Chicago Police Department for 3 years, right? She was supposed to graduate this weekend with her master's degree from Loyola. Yeah, I believe she went to Loyola. She was supposed to do that. Now, she lived in a middle-class neighborhood. 3 teenagers, and I'll put their pictures up. 3 brothers, same skin color as me, probably the same color as you who's watching this show. Definitely the same color as that police officer. The oldest was 18. The youngest was 16. Murdered that young girl while she was on her way home from her shift as a Chicago police. She was not part of the problem. This young lady was giving back and policing her community to the point that the arrest she made that night before she got off her shift, when the person she arrested heard that cop had got murdered, she was in tears. So who knows the conversations they had? You know what I mean? How this cop affected this person that she arrested. You know what I mean?
For you guys today, as a mother, a heartbroken mother, a mother that's full of anger, rage, questions why. But as I said in that courtroom today, the people I really felt sorry for was those boys. I felt sorry for them because nobody obviously didn't pour into them. Nobody told them that they were loved. Nobody told them that you can do anything, like I constantly preach to my daughters. My daughter was 24. Criminal justice was her background. She graduates May 13th from Loyola. Education is what we preach. As crazy as this may sound, I pray for their family. I really, really do. I pray for their family. anytime you can shoot somebody and say, that was my work, what kind of human would say that about another human being?
Mark, why does this story hit you so hard? It hits me hard for a couple of reasons. This story hits me hard because I have a 19-year-old daughter who goes to college, who has her goal set on becoming what she wants to become. I have a 19-year-old son also who's going to college and has his goal set on what he wants to become. And it scares the shit out of me. I'm not putting this energy out there on them because I know God has got them covered. But it scares the shit out of me that one day some rando losers with probably no dad in the fucking house will harm my kids on some dumb shit. Now, I send this to a couple of my buddies. One of my boys said, yo, it's sad, but we shouldn't politicize it. And I said, brother, you don't understand. Whenever there's a white dude that kills a black dude, they make it political. And we'll get into the story of Jordan Neely after this. They make it political. So why not make this political? You know? Why are we not out in the... Now, mind you, you don't hear about the story a lot on the media like you do the next story we're going to talk about, the Jordan Neely story. You don't really hear about this particular story. I only know about the story because I watch certain things. This ain't going to be on CNN, bro. It's not going to be on MSNBC. This is not going to be on what we call liberal news media. It was just not. Now, when I say these things, I'm called a sellout. I'm called, what my coworker called me the other day? Yeah, she called me a sellout. I got called a Uncle Tom by one friend a long time ago who probably don't follow me on Instagram no more because of my views. Let me tell you something, bro. I love being black, bro. If I could come back and do it again, I'll do it again. The same skin color, bro. Don't make me any lighter. I love being dark, bro. It's who I am, bro. I am bliggity black. You know what I mean? But I love my people so much that I'm the first one to hold a mirror in our face and be like, yo, why we crying victim over here? And mind you, sometimes it's rightfully so, because there's some things that might be done to us that might not be done to other people. I totally understand that. But when we do things like this, like kill a young sister who was about to graduate with her master's degree from school, and no one makes an uproar. My son does good work in the neighborhood, the rapper My Son, who is now like an activist. He does. But sometimes that man drives me crazy when I don't see him getting gung-ho for things like this. When it's always us. The majority of the time, it is us killing us. I don't care what y'all telling me. It is. Now, I know what you're going to say. Why does it have to be such a thing called black on black crime? And I agree to you I understand it, right? As the motorcycle go by. Why it has to be something called black on black crime, right? Because anybody who lives at a certain class is going to be crime regardless of the skin color. Poor whites are probably killing poor whites. Poor Spanish people, poor Mexicans, poor Chinese people are probably killing poor people of the same skin color. So I don't feel like black people own the title in that regards. I get it. It's probably more of an economic thing, right? So I understand. You don't like the black on black term. I totally get it. But these three young brothers went out of the hood into a middle class neighborhood. They from Chicago. They know who lives there most of the time. And they go and they kill this young sister. This young sister will not be a mother. This young sister never got to graduate this weekend. This young sister doesn't get to retire after 20 years with a pension. This young sister doesn't get to affect change in a positive way because her life was senselessly snuffed out by people who look like you and me. This story breaks my fucking heart. Now in New York City, Jordan Neely. Let's talk about Jordan Neely. Now this particular story was all over the news. Okay, so Jordan Neely, homeless dude in New York City. He comes on the train. He's telling people how he's threatening people. He's going to kill them. He's effing hungry. He doesn't mind going to jail. He doesn't mind dying. A Marine I don't know what happened. Because honestly, when it comes to stories like this, I like to see it play out before I get fake outrage, right? I really do. I know what happened in Chicago. Those 4 brothers shot that sister dead. End of discussion, right? End of discussion, right? So what happened in the Jordan Neely case is that he comes on. They say he was harassing people on the subway station. They say he was threatening people. So the Marine, whose name is Daniel Perry, goes and he applies a chokehold on him. Now, mind you, Mr. Perry's not doing this by himself. He got a brother also holding Jordan Neely down as well, and I believe it was a Spanish guy. But the reason why this particular situation made it onto the news, and people, I get called a sellout and a coon when I point this out as well too. Yo, bro, that Marine was white, bro. If that Marine wasn't white, if he was black, no one would give a shit. But it's a white guy who killed a black homeless dude. So it makes the news cycle. Now, people were outraged that the Marine, Daniel Perry, wasn't charged right away, right? So then the mayor, whose son also named is Jordan, said it could have been his son, so on and so forth. Now, guys, let's get into the backdrop of Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was arrested more than 40 times, man. He was in and out of that jail. Now, everyone has compassion or feel compassion because back in the day, he was a Michael Jackson impersonator. You know what I mean? Guys, that was back in 2019. His life went left. So it wasn't like he was doing the moonwalk and the Marine put him in a chokehold, bro. He was threatening people. Guys, when you go downstairs in the subway in New York, bro, I work for the MTA. During the pandemic, all the crazies, like Mr. Neely, they was up riding the bus because they shut the subways down, guys. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So one lady on The View said that she would have helped Mr. Neely if she was on a subway station. And I laughed at that. Sweetie, you wouldn't even be on the subway. And I know your bougie ass would probably got off or stopped earlier or went to the next subway car. I know you wouldn't have helped this young man. The city should have helped this young man. I just told you, he had over 40 arrests and nobody came to his aid. Nobody in city government decided that, maybe we should not send him back out. Why do I say that? Because apparently, according to the New York Times, he was on the 50 people to watch list. Mark, what's the 50 people to watch list? I'm going to tell you right now. So, Jordan Neely was on New York's top 50 list of homeless people at risk. Okay, Mr. Neely, who was killed by another subway rider, was on a watch list for a city task force to keep track of New Yorkers for the most concern. He assaulted a 67-year-old lady at one point. There's a couple of assaults in his record. So who's to say he wouldn't have done the same thing on that particular day when this situation happened? Guys, this is how this shit is gonna end up. They're charging the Marine with manslaughter. That's what's gonna happen. The Marine's gonna get off. The city's gonna be all in the uproar, and there's gonna be more protests. That's what's gonna happen. I feel sorry this young man lost his life. I really do. I tell you every day, love yourself, love others. You know what I mean? But someone should have stepped in before it got this far in. You know what I mean? The man was on a top 50 list. Why didn't any city agency keep him somewhere, give him some meds, keep him somewhere where he can't harm himself or other people? So when my people get mad about things like this, I think we go into fake outrage. There's certain things to be mad about, bro. There really is. And if you want to be mad that they did not give Jordan Neely killer, they didn't charge him fast enough, all right, cool. But guys, if we're being willing, you can call me a sellout, whatever you want. It is what it is. You know, and I know, the only reason you're pissed off is because dude is white. Let's keep it real. And if we're keeping it even realer, this country does have a history of white people killing black people and getting off. But in this particular case, I say Save your outrage, man, because there was witnesses down there. And I don't think the picture is as rosy as the news media is making it. You know what I mean? Shit got out of hand. But I don't think Mr. Neely was the same we about to make him. And I know that young lady, God rest her spirit, in Chicago, was supposed to be graduating this weekend. And she didn't. Because 4 brothers went and shot her dead while she came home from work. Unfucking believable. I told you, man. And this show was going to get dark. You know, I was having a talk with my friend. You know, I was telling him, I said, hey, bro, do I come across to you like a certain way, right? Because I'm like, maybe I'm changing. Maybe I'm not down with the whatever. And I know I am. Man, like I told you, I will come back to be black 100 times over again. And he said, yeah, bro, but I get called the same thing too because I love my people so much. I'm willing to call us on our bullshit. You know what I mean? When it needs to be called. Some things is about race, some things isn't. You know what I mean? Is you know, so it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? And that brings us to the message of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the message of the day is give back. Give back. Mark, what are you talking about? Give back. Give back. Give back to your fellow man. Give back to your community if you can. Give back to your family. Give back to your people. Whether it's money, whether it's time, it could be prayer, it could be wisdom, it can be lessons you learned that you can give to people who might be in the same situation you were in. Never be afraid to give back to people, because you will be surprised by you giving back who you can help and who you can affect and who you can change. You know what I mean? Me and my wife give back to our church. We give back to our kids with our wisdom. And we also give back to strangers who come and ask us questions. I try to give back with motivation. You know what I mean? Guys, I had a knee surgery 9 years ago. You know what I mean? And sometimes I walk around like the damn elephant man. You know what I mean? But I tell people, if I could do something, if I can try to relatively stay in shape and whatever, then you definitely have no excuse because you got two legs. My wife tries to give back to the younger girls or just women in general. This woman who's from a Caribbean island came over here to America and made something for herself. And so the way she gives back is with her time and is with her expertise in certain fields, so on and so forth. So don't be afraid. Don't be shy to give back to the people that need the giving, because you'll be surprised who you can help, who life you can change, and who life you can affect. And giving back costs you literally nothing. It really does. My people, I'm so happy to be back. I'm about to go on another vacation in 3 weeks, though. 19 more days. Yo, listen, I know I'm just a bus driver, but if I'm being honest with you, life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. Oh, by the way, before I leave the show, I want to shout somebody out. I want to shout out my friend. I want to shout out my brother, Frank. Now, Frank is a person who made some mistakes when he was younger, right? Got locked up for it, did some fed time, you know the whole hood story. But when he came out, he had the eye of the tiger. He had the eye of the tiger, and he started his own clothing brand. He started his own clothing line, Rags to Riches, right? And that was like, I think 10 years ago. So recently, he just came out with his own unique sneaker, right? And the detail of it, the marketing of it, the cleanness of the sneaker and of his brand, right? Crook Society should be an inspiration. And I just told you about giving back. I feel like he's giving back, even if he doesn't know it. And he might not even watch this podcast. And I'm not saying this so he can watch it. I'm saying this because I want to give you an example. He is giving back by showing people, just because you made mistakes in life, just because you did something when you were younger, it doesn't mean you can't transform yourself to become the best version of yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, that savage has become the best version of himself. So before I had closed the show, I just wanted to give a super Bronx salute to my boy Frank. And also my brother Julio, who also has his own clothing line as well. Just all the Bronx entrepreneurs. So, hope you guys like the show. I know I've been away for a little minute, but like I said, baby, vacation. Sometimes you get on vacation, you don't want to work, you don't want to podcast, you don't want to do nothing. But your boy's back. I'm back in the zone. Listen, as always, click that like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. But more importantly, leave comments, man. Leave feedback. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, listen, we're not going to always agree. But that's one thing I love about this show. We can have discussion and we can have dialogue if you choose to. Maybe you don't, but hopefully you will. So people, as always, from the desk of me, myself, and I, Don't Kill the Messenger podcast, episode 13 is in the book. And as always, why do I always screw up there? And as always, love yourself, love others, love God. My people, I'll see you for number 14. Peace.